While we're in the middle of all these cold, dark, sad January days, we all need a little bit of extra joy, and that extra joy comes in the form of hockey romance books. So today I'm going to tell you about all of the hockey romance books I've read and whether or not I recommend them. Okay, of course the first hockey romance book that I read was The Deal. It's the first in the Off-Campus series by Elle Kennedy. It's everything you could want in a college hockey romance book. It's friends to lovers, fake dating. She tutors him. The girl in this is super strong and she like has a backbone. They bond over their trauma. It's just really good. This one was 5 stars for me. And then I, of course, read the rest of the series and I read most of the spin-off series. The Mistake was 3 stars for me. I didn't love it that much. I liked the girl and the guy in it enough, but the beginning part kind of skeeved me out. And if you've read it, you know why. But he did have an epic grovel in this. Like, she made him go through this like bucket list of stuff to do to win her back, and so that was fun. And then the score, when I first read this freshman year, the score was my favorite of them, but then I reread it this year and was like, okay, the score's kind of 90% smut and 10% plot, but I still liked it enough because I love Dean. He's probably my favorite boy. Maybe Garrett. I just love them. And I also love, you see Garrett and Hannah in the score so much. So I love reading about like the first couple in the series all throughout the series. It's so fun. And then The Goal, this one I did not like at all. It was probably like 1.5 stars. This isn't a spoiler, but it's unexpected pregnancy trope, and I just don't really love that trope. I didn't love the girl in this. Her and Dean like don't get along, and normally people are either Team Sabrina or Team Dean. I read 2 of the 4 books in the Briar U series. I read The Chase, which is the first one, and this one was good. It was Grumpy Sunshine, and I love a good Grumpy Sunshine, but it also had this weird love triangle in it that I didn't love, so I gave that one 2.5 stars, 3 stars. But then The Risk, the reason why I read that series is to be able to read The Risk, and The Risk was easily 5 stars. So good. The Boy in the Risk is like almost as good as The Boy in the Deal. It was amazing. So I highly recommend. You could honestly read them as standalones. It's more fun to read it as a series because then you get to see these characters that you already know. But if you're gonna read 2 from this series, read The Deal and read The Risk, and they're good. They're college, they're hockey, they're fun. It's a good time. That was the only hockey romance series that I've read. The rest of these are either standalones or they're the first in the series where the other books haven't come out yet. Over the summer, I read Icebreaker, and I did not love Icebreaker. Everyone loves Icebreaker, and I can see why, but for me, the plot just fell short. Like, I feel like there were so many smut scenes, and then they were like saying I love you the next page, and I was like, how do you guys love each other? You barely know each other. But the boy in it was cute, and it's figure skater and hockey player, which is a trope that I love. Okay, and then now one of my 5-star hockey romance book reads was Unsteady by Peyton Corrine. I read this book over winter break and I loved it. It's again figure skater and hockey player, which is a trope that I love, and it has some anxiety rep. The boy, he struggles with anxiety because of a hit that he took in hockey, and then the girl, she's raising both of her brothers basically on her own. So this book reminded me a lot of Binding and Keeping 13, which are my 2 favorite books of all time. So any book that reminds me of that is automatically going to be a 5-star read. 2 days ago, I read Famous Last Words by C.W. Farnsworth, and this one was so good too. I've read 2 other books by her because my friend Evelyn put me on, because that is her favorite author. I read Kiss Now, Lie Later, which is football and soccer, and that one was 4.5 stars, really good. And then Left Field Love, which is baseball, that was 4 stars, really good. But this one was a good 4 stars. There's family dynamics in it, like it's kind of like enemies to lovers, but they're never like actually enemies because they don't know each other. They just like hate the idea of each other, but it's so good. And it's swimmer and hockey player, but I don't know if she actually swims like for the school or just for exercise because they didn't really talk about it a lot, but it was still really good. The last book was Behind the Net by Stephanie Archer. I finished this book this morning and I thought it was going to be 4 stars until like the last 100 pages, and then it just dragged on for so long that it ended up being like 2.5 stars, maybe 3 stars. But this book was fine. It was about a hockey goalie and like an assistant So that was kind of a fun trope, but it was Grumpy Sunshine, and I'm all for a good Grumpy Sunshine, especially when he's like grumpy to everyone else and then like sunshine to her. Like, I love that. But it was dual POV, so you got like in his head, and in his head he would like say these things and like do these things that are like so nice, and then like what he would say out loud and do in real life, it would be like, why are you doing that? Like, you don't, I don't know. It was just, it dragged on for too long. It kind of annoyed me. And the other thing that was giving me the ick every time I read it was that he called her Songbird. That's his pet nickname. And every time I read it, I just thought of the Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes and Snow and Lucy Gray, which I love them. But the reason why that worked was because I don't think he ever called her Songbird, like, at least not like being for real. It was just giving me the ick. And I read a bunch of Goodreads reviews that all thought the same thing of the Songbird is just a no-go. Like, please never say that.